r/ask Reddit. Nosy parents of teenagers, what do you wish you shouldn't have seen? My mom walked in on me doing a two-handed loop jerk. The headphones I had on were loud enough to block out the door opening sound, but not her scream. She was more mad at the fact that you were using her lube. I love that her reaction is to scream. Why wouldn't she just let out a sigh and close the door? That's what I'd do. Probably what the hell are you doing with mama's lube? Not a parent, but was preteen at the time the internet was starting to get going. My parents saw my search history after I became confused how sex worked in homosexual relationships and googled it. That led to some interesting questions. So how does it work? Who decides whose penis swallows the other penis? I believe it is usually decided by a very intricate and long competition involving oil changes, leg wrestling, opera, and woodworking. More research is required though. Similar thing happened to me. When I was younger my family called sporting goods dick. So I thought that was the name of it. Went to dicks.com and then I got in trouble. My mom found a thing saying I was bi and confronted me while crying about it and begging me to tell her why I had turned away from God. 6 years later and I'm still so far in the closet I may as well rule Narnia. Also she found my yaoi stash when I was a fucking weeblol. My mom found a thing saying I was bi. She found your bisexuality license? You gotta hide that shit well lad. At least it wasn't a gay agenda. That thing sparkles and shit. It's super difficult to hide. Not a parent, but a witness to their finding something they didn't want to see. Work IT. Guy had his daughter's computer that was having issues opening some photo application and needed it fixed. As we're going through and checking if it worked, yet opened up and presented an image of his daughter, naked, holding a huge dildo. No words were exchanged. He closed the lid and left. His sweet little angle with a sweet big dildo lol. Probably obtuse now. Yeah she did look cute. I'm not a parent, but on my 16th birthday my girlfriend at the time was over and we were in my room watching a movie just chillin'. I went downstairs at a point during the night leaving the girlfriend in the room to get a drink of water. Whilst downstairs my mother asks me if I had any laundry to be done. This wouldn't be strange for most 16-year-old guys, but I had been doing my own laundry since I was 14 due to my parents regularly being away for days at a time for work. I was confused, but just replied no, I did some yesterday, I'm checking anyway. So she did. I got my glass of water and one for the girlfriend and started my path back to my room when two shrill screams come from that direction. I ran to the door. My mother storms out eyes on the ground and grumbles I'm never going into your f***ing room again. I enter the room, perplexed, only to find my girlfriend wrapped in a bedsheet on the bed. Her clothes strewn on the ground. She had been sat on the edge of the bed with nothing on whatsoever when my mother walked in. The night was ruined, and my mother never entered my room again. I'm sure she regrets being such a nosy fool. Your f***ing room. Accurate. A friend of mine once set the homepage on his dad's work computer to a porn site. You know those viruses that automatically set themselves. His dad got greeted with a large woman pleasing herself with a zucchini next time he opened his browser at work. He was not pleased, but the IT guy who had to take care of it must have had a good laugh. Your friend is kind of a little shit. Do that to someone's home computer. Doing that to someone's work computer can make you have to talk to HR and IT, and is a pain in the ass for everyone involved. Your friend is an asshole who could have gotten his dad fired. My daughter's boyfriend left his condom wrapper in her bathroom trash can. Twice. It was a Magnum. Both times. I'm very glad they are using double protection. She's also on BC, and they were both virgins, but goddamn I hate it. Well at least he's got a Magnum dong. More likely just a huge ego. Or just a thick cock. So I have a bunch of weird sleep issues, and one of them is the ability to hold conversations with people while I'm in a deep sleep. I have no memory of the conversations. My mom found out about this when I was a teenager and apparently she would sneak into my room in the middle of the night and sleep me would dish out all the scoop, who was having a party, who I liked, which of my friends made bad life choices, everything. She would never punish me for it, but would give advice based on what sleep me confessed. It always confused me on how much she knew about my life. when I'm extra tired or stressed, this comes back, and apparently I have had hilarious conversations with my husband. I have just recently discovered that I passed this trait down to my son. Part of me is tempted to get the scoop from my kid, but another part of me wants to respect his personal space. I found a poopy dildo hidden in the now unused floor vent in the bathroom. I lived with my mom and 4 younger brothers. It doesn't matter whose it was, I'm still wishing I'd never seen that. What sort of scruffy f***er doesn't clean a dildo after using it? Especially if you're already in a bathroom. If you wash it, you lose all the flavor. Every day we grow farther from God's light. My mom found my butt plug tail on the bathroom counter. I had washed it and forgot it in there. She was crying laughing as she threw it at me. That is absolutely mortifying. Well, at least you'd washed it. My son has a towel for a specific private purpose. It needs to be washed. You should get him a box. Ha. I had to tell my son to stop taking all my dish towels. Told I knew what he was doing and to use a damn sock or something. LMAO. Have these people never heard of toilet paper? I just come in my hand and wash it off. Not a parent, but when my brother was 7 he was complaining of my mom's PC running slow. Out of curiosity I check history in case he downloaded any viruses. Minecraft porn was multiple of the searches. Yep, wish I was kidding. What even should that be? Sexy creepers? Block people having sex? I didn't keep looking, but he opened a lot of links after the initial Google search. I just ran Malwarebytes and told my mom she got a virus from Facebook lol. You're a good older brother, thanks. Not a parent. Went to take a piss in a stall at school, found a cell phone on the TP dispenser. It didn't have a lock screen. I thought I would search in the contacts for someone the owner spoke to regularly, mom or whoever, to send them a text. Found your son's phone. It'll be with campus security. As soon as I swiped to unlock, it opened to a Google image search result page for sexy she-males. I wiped the browser history, turned it into security, and went about my day like nothing happened. It was at that moment I realized how numb I was to odd shit. To be fair, she-male is pretty vanilla. I wouldn't call it odd. When we moved house and all the stuff was in the new place, one of the moving guys called me out to double check the receipt, and when we were out of my mom's earshot/eye line, he handed me the weed pipe that had fallen out of the hidden hole in the back of my desk when they were moving it. What a bro. What a badass mover guy. Reminds me of smoking out of a bong in the backyard with my friends during my high school years, and the pool guy came back for the weekly cleaning and saw us. He just said, "Don't worry about me, I was in high school once too." What a guy. Same. I of course had forgotten about several stashes when we moved. Good guy mover packed them all in one box for me and told me which one it was so I could open them and stash them at the new place. As a kid, it seemed like no matter where you hid shit, your mother would find it. I had a nice stash of Spank mags when I was a young teen and decided I would hide them in one of my guitar cases, even behind the guitar. My mother would have absolutely no reason whatsoever to open one of those. She still found them and acted like she wasn't looking for anything. Ugh. Couldn't imagine tearing my kid's room apart looking for something unless I absolutely had to. This is why people find stashes of porn in the woods. Wish my mom was more like that. She searches my room regularly whenever I call her out on it, which I've given up at this stage because she just won't stop. She tells me she was just cleaning it for me, regardless of how tidy it was when I left the house. But I always knew A, because things that you wouldn't have to touch to tidy the room would be out of place, and B, sometimes I'd just assume she searched it and say it to her, and it's always so obvious by her reaction. Parents, why do you feel the need to go through your teen stuff? My mom always went through my stuff. I never had anything to hide, but it always made me feel violated, and it made me feel the need to hide stuff from my parents. Even if it was something small like a date or a birthday card from a friend. Let your teens have a safe place in their room where they can keep stuff that they feel is private. If you have any worries about drugs or other things, be honest and open with them. When I was 16, I had weed duct taped to the ceiling of a blocked off air vent in my room, inside a smell proof case, and my mom still managed to find it. She searched the f***ing air vents. Condom wrapper in the downstairs trash, rolled up inside a potato chip bag. Found it. Lighter tucked underneath the seat in my car. Found it. Plastic bag full of empty beer cans that I hid at the bottom of our outdoor trash can. Found it. She loves me, but she was nosy as fuck and always on my case, cause she came from a very well-to-do family. Imagine how psyched she was when I came home on leave for the first time with a tattoo and a nicotine habit. I'm a parent, so one weekend wife and I are chilling out in bed watching whatever garbage on TV when our youngest son, 11, comes in and says oldest brother, 13, is looking at porn on his tablet. So we call for oldest son, he denies and denies of course, so tell him to bring me his tablet. He hasn't learned the art of incognito browsing, or clearing history completely. Going through his history, well I'll be damned, he is looking at porn. Not just any porn though. Some anime stuff, some adult raunchy stuff. But the real kicker was the Scooby-Doo porn. Fred f***ing Velma, Shaggy f***ing Daphne, Velma doing Daphne, etc. So mom leaves the room to let dad and his son talk about this. Starts with the usual, don't lie, you can't hide this shit from me. If I go through your browsing history, it's okay to masturbate. In private of course, you're growing up, yada yada yada. Finish the conversation, give him his tablet back, but as he's walking out the door, I can't but help do my best / worst Scooby impression, but Shaggy followed by Zoinks, Jinkies and Rara found your porn. His face got so red, and I just lost it. I was in tears. Now every so often, when he starts to cop an attitude with us, I just go Zoinks to him. Kicker of it all, youngest son comes into the room with I was only joking, I didn't know he really was. Raru found your porn. OMG I'm dead. Not a parent, but the only time my mom ever searched my computer history was 10 minutes after I had googled what queefs are. I was playing a game of Scrabble with my mom and a friend, and one of us played queef. We then got the pleasure of explaining what it was to my mom. She was so excited about the new word she went to work that night and made sure everyone else knew it too. That's cute. I wish my mom was that fun. Trust me, she is. I raised a daughter as a single father. I'm not a natural snoop. I try to not be too nosy. The worst parts for me was having her around my mom. My mom is more nosy than any 5 people I have ever met. My mom was left alone in my house with just the dog when my daughter was 15. My daughter is now in her mid-20s, and I still have not heard the last from my mom about her having 3 different vibrators, and therefore is somehow perverted. She hasn't lived at home since she left for college at 18, and I'm still hearing about it. A dildo won't get her pregnant, hooked on drugs, or hit her up for money, so it's fine by me. You don't hear this argument, like ever. It's a really good point. Get your mom a vibrator for her birthday. Tell her it's because she apparently couldn't get enough of it. Subscribe my guy to the only man on YouTube